to the cloud. Welcome, wellness family. Welcome to day 4 of our Making Room to Thrive journey. I am Kwame Reggie, and our topic for today is make space for what matters. Make space for what matters. Yesterday, we focused on releasing what weighs us down. So today we're going to shift gears a little bit and we're going to take the next important step into making room to thrive. So we begin asking a very important question. Now that we created this space, now that space is opening in your life, ask yourself what deserves to fill it. Decluttering is not only about deciding what to remove, it is also about intentionally deciding what deserves to remain and what deserves more room or space. Making room is a two-part process. It begins with what? It begins with release. That's the one part, but it is completed through choice, through intentional choice. And as we begin today, I want you to think of one area of your life where you would like to experience more peace. Let that marinate in your mind and in your heart. The goal is to renew your commitment to where your time, energy, attention, and peace go. All right? What matters deserves more than good intentions. It deserves protected space in our lives. We're not just clearing space. We are simply learning how to fill our lives with what helps us thrive. Woo! Release opens the door. Releasing is powerful, family. But releasing by itself is not the destination. It's not. Releasing opens the door. Intention helps us decide what is allowed to walk through that door next. So when we create space, but do not give that space a purpose, those old habits, those old expectations, and old emotional patterns can do what? They can quietly return. So this is why space without purpose can quickly be reclaimed by the very things we worked to release. And today, we decide, we, we decide what belongs in the room. Like I said, releasing opens the door, intention decides what enters. All right? Do not clear that room only to invite the same clutter back inside. The main message I would like to convey today is simple. What matters deserves protected space. Let me say that again, and it's on the slide here. What matters deserves protected space. It's not enough to say that peace matters. All right? It has to go beyond that. We must make room for peace. We have to put in the work. We have to do the work. It is not enough to say that health, rest, joy, purpose, and healthy relationships matter. Because we must do what? We must create space where those values can breathe. We must create space where those values can grow. We must create space where those values can do what? Can guide us. A value that receives no time, no attention, protection, or action can slowly become only an idea. So check this out. Look at what you say matters most. That's very important. Does the structure of your life actually give those values enough room? Does it? Again, if we do not protect meaningful space, urgent things will often consume it. Day 4 is about moving from emotional awareness into intentional alignment. What matters deserves more than our words. It deserves protected space in our lives. That's what it deserves. As we make room for what matters in our life and our space, one thing that we must do, we must learn to evaluate our commitments based on who we are becoming, not only who we used to be. You see, some responsibilities, relationships, and routines may have they may have made sense in the earlier season. All right. But we should periodically do what? Ask whether they still fit the life we are building now. Ask yourself this. Does this support the person I am becoming? Does this bring peace? Does it bring growth? Does it bring meaning or genuine connection? Am I choosing this from purpose, or am I continuing it because of guilt, continuing it because of fear, habit, or expectation? Something does not have to be completely wrong to no longer be right for you. Whew. Let me say that again. Something does not have to be completely wrong to no longer be right for you. Something can be familiar and still no longer fit. Question. This is a reflection question. Does my daily life reflect what I say I value? Does my daily life reflect what I say I value? Something can be familiar and still no longer fit. Now, once we identify what matters, we must do what? We must protect the space it needs. Boundaries are the tools we use to protect our priorities. Boundaries are the tools we use to protect our space. Boundaries are not about being mean-spirited. Boundaries is not about being cold, distant, or unavailable. Boundaries help us limit what repeatedly drains our peace. It helps us limit what we re repeatedly drain our time, that drains our health and energy. They also preserve room for what nourishes and what strengthens us. So saying no to one request, to uh, one obligation or distraction may allow us to say yes to rest, healing. It may allow us to say yes to our health, to get our health in order, or purpose or peace. So boundaries, what I'm saying is that boundaries do not always mean ending a relationship. Sometimes they simply mean creating clearer expectations, healthier access to your space, or a more sustainable structure. Boundaries protect what is sacred within us, family. A boundary is not simply a wall against others, it is a doorway that helps protect what is sacred within you. Whew, man, personal challenge. Reflection becomes transformation when it leads to a decision and an action. Reflection becomes transformation when it leads to a decision and an action. So today's challenge is simple: choose, protect, and act. So, first thing you're going to do, we, including myself, we're going to choose one area of our life that deserves more space. Second, we're going to identify one clear boundary that will protect that space. That's important. Identify one clear boundary that will protect that space. And third, take one small action today that honors your decision. Complete these statements, and I have it up here on the screen. I am making more room for, you're going to fill that out. I will protect this space by, one action I will take today is, do not underestimate the power of one small intentional decision. Small intentional steps creates what? Creates lasting space. Choose what matters most right now. Protect it with one clear boundary. Act with one small step today. This challenge helps move the reflection from thought into practice. Here's an example. I am making more room for rest. I will protect this space by not answering non-urgent calls after 9 p.m. One action I will take today is giving myself 30 uninterrupted minutes to reset. This is what I came up with for myself, and I'm sharing it with you. So, final encouragement: small intentional steps create lasting space. And in closing, as we close day 4, remember this, family. You do not have to fill every empty space right away. Some space is meant for breathing. I mean, we talked about this before, right? Some space is meant for just listening. It's meant for healing and becoming. Your peace deserves space. Your peace deserves space. Your purpose deserves space. Your health deserves space. Your joy deserves space. And the person you are becoming deserves room to emerge. So today, we practice becoming intentional stewards of our space. What matters must be protected, not just wished for. The work is not only to release what drains us, but to nurture what strengthens us. Wellness family, I love you all. Keep making room for what matters. And again, some space should remain open for breathing, listening, healing, and becoming, and keep making room for what matters. In the closing affirmation, repeat after me. I intentionally create space for what nourishes my peace, supports my growth, and aligns with the life I am building. Thank you.